Step back! Get him tied!
Not planned, not tomorrow, happening now. Chicago is a war zone.
Right now, as we speak, Chicago's a war zone. Federal agents are dragging bodies out of illegal employment dens. Protesters wearing clown noses, actual clown noses. They're getting zip-tied outside of ICE facilities. Illinois State Police cracking skulls. And for the first time in American history, Antifa just got hit with federal terrorism charges. This isn't some planned operation next week. It's happening actually right now. The footage you're about to see is insane. The arrests are massive. Even Democrat Governor Pritzker is panicking, claiming that Trump has diminished capacity while his sanctuary city burns. What started at dawn has exploded into full-scale enforcement chaos, the underground economy being ripped apart. So keep on watching. While Chicago erupts and law enforcement restores order, Americans need real healing at home. After Jonathan Otto introduced me to red light therapy, my wife and I experienced transformation we didn't think were possible at our age. Her chronic pain and anxiety from her diagnosis gone. My own energy and recovery better than guys half my age. Major medical journals show 300% faster healing, pain elimination in minutes, even brain regeneration. The same technology costs thousands of dollars at clinics, but Jonathan's made it available for your home. Visit myredlight.com and use code NNN for exclusive savings. Don't wait. Get the healing technology that is saving lives. So the Department of Homeland Security posting this. FAFO. If you threaten or lay hands on our law enforcement officers, we will hunt you down and you will find out really quick. We'll see you cowards soon. And they posted this video, which looks like a bunch of Chicago thugs. The caption on the screen, ICE, we're on the way. Word on the street, cartels put a $50,000 bounty on you all. And Homeland Security says, yeah, sure. You want to F around? You're going to find out. And we have this. Governor J.B. Pritzker with Jen Psaki. Remember her? She said on Sunday, you're looking to prosecute ICE agents who violate the law. What would that look like? So now Pritzker wants to violate ICE agents. We're not even at the footage you're about to see. It is insane. The arrests that are happening. Thank God, though. Send a message. But here's the message Governor Pritzker is trying to say, that we're going to arrest ICE agents.
About that. You said on Sunday that you were looking at prosecuting ICE agents who violate the law. What can you tell us about that? What would that look like?
Well, we don't know yet, because let's start with the fact that the federal agents typically have federal immunity, but they're not immune from the federal government holding them accountable and responsible. And so typically there are inspectors general, there are senior officials at agencies like ICE and CBP typically that will suspend somebody who's been accused or found to have broken the law. And as they suspend them, investigate it and then determine whether that person should be punished criminally or otherwise. The problem now, of course, is that Donald Trump has fired many of the inspectors general, or he's replaced them with political appointees. And so we don't know that anybody would be held accountable at the federal level. So we're looking at all of the options at the local level with county states attorneys, with attorneys general, to go after people when they're breaking Illinois law, when they're breaking local law. And we think that they have. You know, when they're driving through an area, someone's yelling at them and they decide to simply throw a tear gas canister out of the car as they're driving through at someone who's on the side of the road. That, it seems to me, is a violation of Illinois law. And so the question is, can we hold the officers, the agents responsible when they do something like that? If it were a police officer, we could. If it was, you or me or just an average person throwing a tear gas canister out the side of a window at people, we could hold them responsible. So it seems like they ought to be held responsible for breaking local and state laws.
Okay, but who's going to hold you responsible for breaking federal law? Oh, that's right, Donald Trump. Keep trying, fatty. Keep trying, buddy. And speaking of lunatics, this is kind of off topic, but Mayor Brandon Johnson posted this 3 hours ago. With the first of its kind tax on social media companies, we're proposing that these corporations, not users, invest in some of the profit they make from selling our data to mental health care. So now all the companies that are working inside of Chicago, social media companies that have offices, they are now going to get taxed. Way to go, Mayor Brandon Johnson. All those companies are going to start moving out of Chicago very soon, too. So you think you're going to go ahead and try to collect more taxes on the people of Chicago, the companies in Chicago, because you can't figure out how to balance a budget, because you gave too much money to illegals? Yeah, it's only going to get worse for you, man. Only going to get worse. But what's getting worse for these Antifa terrorists outside of the Broadview facility. Lots of footage. Check this out. Brendan Gutenschwager, BG on the scene.
This is America right here. The fascist arm of America. People protesting. Look at the bleed in their eyes. Look at the smile. Look at the way. Watch him love hurting me. He wants to hurt me.
All he's saying is clear the road. See, what these peaceful protesters are doing is they're obstructing justice. And they're having a drum circle at the same time.
To crush my boys the roadway. He wants to hurt me.
He wants to hurt me. He wants to hurt me. Look at they're waving Mexican flags. Chinga la migra! Yeah. Oh, but there's so much more. Liberal terrorists clashing with Illinois state troopers at 9:30 in the morning. It's Friday. Do these people not have to work? They're there at 9:30 in the morning.
The rule in...
Oh, wait a minute. They are working. I'm so sorry. They got to cash those Soros checks.
We've got action in Broadview, Illinois, about 25 minutes due west of Chicago. During the commercial break, we watched these Illinois state troopers move in on a group of ICE protesters. Here's the rule. The rule in Broadview, Illinois, the mayor said you cannot be there prior to 9 a.m. local time or 10 a.m. East Coast time. So that's about 45 minutes ago. And last Friday, there was a violation of that time when about 250 people gathered at this time a week ago. It seems to be a repeat of last week, and we are told one person arrested. A lot of noise so far, but we'll watch it throughout the morning and see whether or not it escalates. So wanted to share that with you near that ICE facility in Broadview.
Now, if you recall, they just took the fencing down at that facility. Here's more footage. Police in Illinois just charged into a crowd of leftist anti-ICE rioters, dragged and arrested them. Another day of FAFO. Playtime is over. Violence against federal agents is not being tolerated, so keep on arresting. Oh, yeah. Do they get paid extra when they get arrested? I think they do. The footage. Here's more. Protesters attempt to stopping an arrest. In Broadview, police pull the targeted individual away from the other protesters and carry out the arrest. More from Brendan Gutenschwager, BG on the scene. Now, of course, none of this would be happening if they didn't pull those fences down. Here is someone dressed as Lady Liberty. Well, that's going to hurt. That's going to leave a rash. I think the bigger question is, why is this Antifa thug wearing a thong? I think that's the bigger question. Is that part of their uniform? Okay, we got more. There was another one here from Jelly Belly. This is where he says, 8 hours ago, posting on X, the people around Donald Trump are taking advantage of his diminished capacity to break the law. Imagine that. J.B. Pritzker saying Trump has diminished capacity. We just lived through 4 years of a puppet president. Okay? And he wants to claim that Trump has diminished capacity? He says, whatever they do now, we won't forget. And we will hold them accountable.
It's clear that Donald Trump has diminished capacity, which I think is sad, that the people around him are not getting him help. And instead, they're just taking advantage of him. And that's what Stephen Miller is. You can tell, his rhetoric is so out of bounds. And then we know that he's the one who is advising Kristi Noem at DHS. He's the one who's advising Tom Homan, who's the kind of immigration czar, deportation czar. And of course, he's the spokesperson for this entire endeavor, including about deploying National Guard into cities. So, he seems like a dangerous individual, and he has the power of the presidency because the president isn't reining him in. And so that's why I'm talking about Stephen Miller. I think that we should focus on his actions. And let's remember, and I've said this for some time, they're not always going to be in office, but they will, other than the president who's now been given immunity by the Supreme Court. The people who serve for the president, including all the way down to ICE agents, can be held accountable when there's a change of administration who's willing to hold them accountable when they break the law. Now, Stephen Miller is clearly ordering people to break the law. So, he should know that, it may be 3 years from now that he is held accountable, but make sure, I think it's important for them to know that whatever they do now it's not like we're going to forget, and it's not like we don't have a record of what they're doing. It's clear that Donald Trump has diminished capacity.
Okay. Yeah, that's J.B. Pritzker gaslighting you. Here is the ICE deputy posing the question, why is Pritzker so adamant in letting criminal, illegal, alien gang members, murderers, rapists, and other criminals run free in Chicago?
This is our officers are able to use our intelligence and targeting packages to go after the worst of the worst. Anybody that's been convicted of any crimes, we're able to target them, locate them, and ultimately remove them from the community. This is something that Governor Pritzker doesn't want us doing. He wants these gang members, murderers, rapists left out on the street. Like I said, we've arrested TDA gang members. We've arrested 18th Street gang members. We've arrested people that have been convicted of sex crimes, of child trafficking crimes. The list goes on. And we can read those rap sheets and we post them on our social media pages to tell the story of what we're doing at ICE, which is removing the worst of the worst. Our officers are
the worst of the worst. Here's another angle of the Statue of Liberty getting arrested.
You're impinging on our First Amendment right to free speech.
Let me see that dong, 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 dong. Oh, man.
Move back! Move back! Move back! I'm giving you a direct order. Move back now! Move back! You need to stand down and step back. Command the
Arrest after arrest after arrest happening right now in Broadview. Here's Kash Patel 9 hours ago. The first ever Antifa terror lockup. He writes on X, for the first time, Antifa-aligned anarchist extremists have been hit with federal terrorism charges after a July 4th attack on an ICE facility in Texas. Law and order is back.
Well, let's talk about for a moment the arrest made at Prairieland. Okay, this is the ICE facility at Prairieland, Texas, which I guess is outside of Dallas. Allegedly, 2 Antifa people have been arrested, maybe more. Can you tell us a little more about that?
This is breaking news, Larry. Just hours ago, a grand jury indicted 2 members of an Antifa-affiliated cell that launched an attack on a detention facility attacking law enforcement and police officers. 20 individuals have been charged so far, but the key here is for the first time, under the president's authorities, designated Antifa as a domestic terror organization. We have charged these 2 individuals with material support to terrorism for their involvement in Antifa. This was a coordinated, planned attack by dozens of individuals to murder police officers. And Larry, a police officer was actually shot in the neck. These guys came and staged a scene at a detention center using fireworks, then brought in long guns and rifles. They were kitted out in bulletproof vests and masks and opened fire at law enforcement. This is what President Trump is prioritizing. We have to protect the men and women of law enforcement. And yes, Antifa exists. It's a terrorist organization. These are the first charges ever brought under this new designation. And this FBI is following the money, and we're going to dismantle these networks because people pay for this stuff. We're going to find them. They are equally criminally responsible as those that pull the trigger themselves.
So let's just one more moment on that point, because you've seen in the last couple of years, I mean, Antifa's been around, but people on the left and the far left say that Antifa doesn't exist. It's a state of mind, blah, 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 blah. You're saying 2 real people, domestic terrorists, okay? They were indicted by the grand jury. I mean, if they're not real, then how come 2 people were indicted and that they were involved in attacking the ICE facility? They have to be real. It's not a state of mind.
Yeah, I encourage everyone to read the first sentence of the indictment. It says the North Texas Antifa cell. That's literally the opening salvo in the indictment. And where do these people collaborate and come from? It's not just Texas. They're out burning courthouses in Portland. They're out committing destructive activities in Los Angeles. And the FBI has arrested dozens of these individuals. And thanks to our new investigative programs under President Trump designating these guys as domestic terrorism, we have opened up multiple field investigations across the country looking at the banking and financial facilitation network. We are treating them as terrorists, just like we do Al-Qaeda or ISIS. People pay for this destructive act of violence, and those people are going to be brought to justice. Now that we have the authorities, we need to go after them.
Wow. All right. Terrific stuff. And
terrific stuff indeed, baby. It's happening. Antifa, as they try to pull scenes like this outside of Broadview, they're getting arrested for terrorism charges. More arrests from yesterday's Swap-O-Rama raid in Chicago. There's no swapping out your one-way ticket home now.
Hey man, leave it alone, bro. ¿Cómo hago, señora? Mire nomás, la señora llorando. You got the car, man? Think about her, bro. Hey, please, leave her alone. She just working here. She got babies, bro. ¿Algún número? Número, ¿a quién le habla? Pinche paisa. No, son chingaderas, brother. Hey, leave her alone, bro. Yo. Yeah, two and a half and a couple more. Why you not? Hey, why you not for my paper, bro? Hey, your fucking private property. Hey, she got babies, bro. Please, leave it alone, man. You got her, you got babies. Think about it. Hey, man. Ella tiene niños. No seas así, por favor, vela. Piensa tantito, hermano. Tú tienes babies. Cabeza de nopal, todavía tu familia viene.
I mean, these scenes are heartbreaking. There's no question about it. But these scenes would not be happening if these people came here legally. End of story. They came here illegally, set down roots, had a family, decided to work illegally in these Swap-O-Rama swap meets. You see them all over the place, especially in the Chicago area. And that's how they make their living. In fact, I saw one a couple weeks ago. It looked like, those people that drive around picking out garbage. They take the garbage and then they put it out and pick the best pieces and sell it. And that's how they make a living. All cash, undetectable, no taxes paid. And they're illegal. They have underground economies, and that's how they survive. Look at all this. Look at all the wares all over. So again, these scenes would not be happening if these people were here legally in this country. Let's be very clear. So while it's heartbreaking to see mothers getting arrested, yeah, it's a heartbreaking scene. But they made decisions. They made the wrong decisions. They skipped the line. People who spend years in this country legally learn the rules. They go down to the Chicago facility, take the oath to this country, pledge allegiance to it, become citizens, fill out the paperwork, wait in line, pay lawyers thousands of dollars to navigate all the laws. They do it right. And these people are skipping the line. So while these tears may flow, those are tears of bad decisions. So don't let the footage draw you in too much. And that's the unfortunate truth here. ICE raided the rideshare area of Chicago Airport. 2/3 of the Uber drivers were arrested. If you recall, there was a story we did a couple, must have been about 6 or 7 months ago. Somebody had actually interviewed it wasn't just Uber drivers. It was like the DoorDash folks, the Uber Eats people who were leasing identities, leasing the identity of somebody so they could use their identity on the app. And they're not, in some cases, don't even have driver's licenses. The person who actually is the account holder gives them a revenue share of that. They act as the front. And then the person goes on and does the work for them. Basically subcontracting out the DoorDash and Uber Eats. So it looks like this is also happening with Uber drivers. Now, when I take Uber, I always request professional drivers. Uber Black SUV, that's the only way that I travel for this very reason. Because at least professional drivers are going to be just that, professional drivers. Not somebody who has been subcontracted to take over someone's Uber account. Think about that. You don't even know, if that's the case, you don't even know who that Uber driver is. You get their picture. I mean, there have been multiple times where I've had, Uber Eats or DoorDash delivered, and the picture does not match the person. Multiple times. And they're only there in and out for just a minute. But imagine if that's your driver. You're supposed to have a driver that looks like the picture, but it's not even them. I mean, that's a huge, huge safety risk. Let's check in what happened at Chicago 11 hours ago. ICE raided the rideshare area at Chicago. 2/3 of the Uber drivers were arrested.
ICE raid at Chicago. Did you guys see they just did an ICE raid at Chicago O'Hare's rideshare parking lot? Like, as an American, you can't even get gig work anymore. Like, think about it. You have to compete to be able to drive around other people, or you have to compete to drop off people's food. So they did an ICE raid at the Chicago O'Hare parking lot, and they said it was at least 50 to 60 cars out there. Wow. And when they were done, there was only like 15. And they're saying that they're not suppressing our wages, right? So let me get this straight. They're not suppressing the wages, but you have to compete with more than double the amount of people who were supposed to be here. And that's not even counting that you're probably going to get less per ride because there's so many people willing to do the job. Of course they're willing to do it, dude. They're getting assistance. They're not having to pay for a car. They're barely having to pay for rent. Yeah, they can take less wage per ride.
So if you have value for this report, tap subscribe. My final thought is next. So this is what winning looks like. While Pritzker whines about diminished capacity, ICE is dismantling his sanctuary scam piece by piece. 2/3 of O'Hare's rideshare drivers arrested, Swaparama's underground economy shut down, and those Antifa cowards who firebombed a federal facility on July 4th, they're not activists anymore. They're terrorists facing federal time. Even Obama's pet judges can't save them now. The clown noses are coming off. The handcuffs are going on. For years, they told us enforcing immigration law was impossible, racist, and cruel. Today proved them liars. When you actually enforce the law, when you stop coddling criminals, when you treat terrorists like terrorists, order returns pretty fast. So here's the question. Should every sanctuary city mayor face federal charges for harboring illegals? Yes or no? Sound off below. And while Chicago burns, you can gear up with our American Badass collection at shop.nextnewsnetwork.com.